What's up? What's up? Good evening. This is Dennis. This is the Sales Drive Home. We are driving home. We're driving home in the rain today. It was raining and cold in the desert. Imagine that. So, I wanted to get back to a subject that we talked about on Monday, and I was talking about winning 100% of the games that you play. And it just doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen because of several reasons. I think a couple of the points that we covered on Monday. First, you can't get frustrated. You can't let losing a game affect your next game. So your next customer that comes in, man, you gotta be fresh. You gotta be ready to go. Ready to go. I'm ready to go. I just lost the game, but that's okay. I'm okay. Because the person in front of you is the most important one. And so we talked about not getting frustrated, not carrying one loss into the next customer. We also talked about having the team help you. And we talked about it a little bit, but I really wanted to focus in on that a little bit today, just because it is and it isn't a team sport. But, sales it can be a team sport, and it really should be. You should really be involving your team, your support staff, your managers, your whoever you've got to rely on, man. You need to involve them in the process. And if you're struggling with somebody, you need to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It's not a bad thing. And, it's important that we do that we reach out. But I got to thinking about it Monday night, and I wanted to talk today about, so you can't win 100% of the games that you play, right? But you know how you lose 100% of the games that you play? By not playing. See, you can't win 100% of the games, but you're going to lose 100% of the time if you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you're going to lose. If you're taking the first no that you get from a customer and you're not coming back at them with a rebuttal, you're not coming back at them with a defense, something that says, no, what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but here's the facts. Here's really what you need to know. And when we're talking about a customer's statement that I don't like this because of this. Sometimes it's just an excuse. Sometimes they're not comfortable with something else, and they give you that as an excuse because maybe it's simple. Oh, I don't like the color of that one. Oh, that one doesn't have leather. That one doesn't have a sunroof. That one doesn't have this. But maybe that's not really the problem. And so whenever somebody gives you that, whenever they come up with that objection, you need to be back at them and making sure that that's the real objection. And not just accepting it on face value. And not just taking the objection and saying, oh, well, I guess you don't want to buy from me. Because that's guaranteeing that 100% of the games that you play, you're going to lose. If you're just taking that objection and not verifying the objection and not coming back to them with some reasons that maybe that objection is not valid, then you're going to lose. Simple as that. So the first thing when somebody brings up an objection, let's verify and isolate that objection. Let's make sure that that's the real problem. Sometimes people say things that are how do you put it? They're kind of in the negative. In other words, you're looking at trucks and somebody says to you, oh, is that a four-wheel drive? Well, let's make sure that they want a four-wheel drive. Are you looking for a four-wheel drive? Do you want a four-wheel drive? Because sometimes we'll slam into that objection and start saying, oh, well, yeah, this is a two-wheel drive, but it's got this and it's got, rear differential lock or whatever we come up with. And that's not really the objection. They don't even want a four-wheel drive. So you need to verify the objection. You need to verify that you understand the objection and that you are sure that this is the real objection. So you need to verify. You need to ask some questions. When somebody says something, oh, well, I don't like the color, make sure that that's the real objection. Oh, okay. So what you're saying then is if I found one that was blue instead of green, then everything else is fine, right? You're good. Oh, well, no, I really don't like this or this or this. You got to ask the questions. And once you isolate that objection, once you say, okay, this is the objection, you need to understand too, when people bring up those objections, that those objections are theirs. It's their personal property. They're throwing that objection out. They said it, so they believe it, or they said it and they want you to believe that they believe it. So you can't just say, well, you can, I guess, and sometimes you do, but you can't just come back at them and say, oh, no, that's not right. Because now you're just combative. Now you need to handle the objection correctly. You need to make sure that you understand the objection, and then you need to let them know that you understand it. I understand what you're saying. I've had a lot of customers that felt that way. And this is what they've found. They've found that, the blue color is actually better in the sun because it lasts longer, or it's cooler, or it's warmer, or it has a higher resale value, or whatever. You need to handle the objection in a way that they know that you understand and heard what they said, that it's a valid objection, but that here's some reasons that they might go beyond it. Somebody had likened their objection that they built to like a wall. They built this wall. Here's the wall in between you and me. The color's wrong. I don't like the blue color. Okay, I understand. Hang on. Let me get on this side of the same wall that you just built. Let me get over here and stand here, and let's look at this wall together from the same perspective. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so what you're saying is this. Now, this is the right objection. Yes, this is the only objection that you've got to buying this vehicle or buying whatever. And so if we can figure out a way to take this wall back down, then we're all on the same side and we're moving forward. But if you don't do that, if you don't spend the time to isolate the objection and figure out how to get on the same side of that objection with them, and then show them facts that change their mind, or show them something that changes their mind, then you're not playing the game. Then you're going to lose. So you can't win 100% of the time, but you sure can lose 100% of the time if you're not taking the time to handle every objection that a customer comes up with. All of the sales trainers say, oh, how many responses to objections, how many responses should I know? Well, or how many objections should I overcome with the customer? And the answer is, you need to have one more response, or you need to have one more than they got objections, because you got to go through this whole process with them. And if you know one more closing technique, or one more thing than they've got objections, then you've taken care of all the objections and you win. So you need to know what are common objections to the product that you sell. What are the common objections to the model that you sell to a customer that's looking at a particular model? What do they come up with frequently? Because you need to know how to respond to them. You need to know those answers. And that goes into, what do I need to know to make myself successful? I mean, you need product knowledge. You need some personality knowledge. You need to know how certain people respond to certain things. You need to know a lot of those things to be successful. But I guess my whole point on this whole discussion is that if you don't spend the time doing that, if you've got none of these things built up in your repertoire, then you're going to lose. And we don't want to lose, we want to win. So anyway, it's Wednesday on the sales drive home. I got on my coat in September. I don't understand. But it's supposed to warm back up. But I appreciate you joining me. Thanks for joining me today. That's all I got. I'm done. So this is Dennis. This is the Sales Drive Home. You can email me, dennis@thesalesdrive.com, dennis@thesalesdrive.com. Questions, concerns, topics you want to cover, whatever. We're good. Email me. Let me know. Okay? Thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Dennis. It's always a pleasure. And as always, peace, my Drive Home Nation people.